So now the lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices go up, because gold is dollar based. Now it's cheaper for other countries in them to buy gold. And you're seeing the numbers coming out. They're buying it like crazy. Number two is that it's going to be the death of the dollar. Much of the world has had enough of the United States geopolitical and economic hegemony. They're tired of it. And it's not going to happen right away, but it's happening.
Federal Reserve officials are holding off on cutting interest rates, at least for the time being. But signs of disagreement are emerging inside the Fed, and this week's policy meeting could add momentum to expectations for rate cuts later this fall. Chair Jerome Powell remains in a tight spot. He's facing mounting pressure from President Trump and his allies to bring down borrowing costs, especially as the labor market starts to show signs of cooling. Reports suggest there could even be multiple dissents from Fed officials who want to move faster to support the economy. Gerald Celente, a longtime trend forecaster, points out a key relationship. When rates go down, the dollar weakens, and that's bullish for gold. Since gold is priced in dollars, a weaker dollar makes it cheaper for foreign buyers. That's part of why central banks around the world have been accumulating gold at a historic pace. According to Invesco research, nearly half of global central banks plan to increase their gold allocations over the next 3 years. Celente ties it all together. Countries are losing patience with America's dominance, economically, militarily, and monetarily. The dollar's not collapsing overnight, but the trend is shifting. He highlights that the dollar is off to its worst yearly start since 1973. That year marked the final decoupling of the dollar from gold and the onset of the Yom Kippur War, which triggered a significant surge in oil prices and inflation, a pivotal moment for global markets. Adding to the sense of risk, JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon warned just last week that major threats remain. His list includes tariffs, geopolitical instability, soaring deficits, and inflated asset prices. It's a telling snapshot of what's weighing on investor sentiment, with the Fed standing still, but pressure building from both economic data and political forces. The dollar's vulnerability is becoming harder to ignore, and gold is once again emerging as the quiet hedge against that uncertainty. Make sure to tune in for our expert analysis. Don't miss out on future content. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay in the loop. Your support is greatly appreciated.
It was just reported that $2 billion they invested in Bitcoin, or his kids are in it. The guys that the Commerce Secretary or whatever, the son's in it. He's in it. So the prices are going to keep going up. He's going to do everything he can. Now let's go back to gold. Trump is going to do everything he can to lower interest rates. And if anybody thinks that he can't do it, grow up. Let's look at the facts. Go back to your Trends Journal, 2018. Dow had the worst December since the Great Depression. What did Trump do? Forced Jerome Powell to lower interest rates.
Brought down interest rates.
What did Powell do? He lowered them in January 2019. What happened to the Dow? Oh, it only went up over 20%. It's one big club and you ain't in it, as George Carlin said. So again, who was the last Treasury Secretary? Ms. Fatcha-Brut, what's her name? Janet Yellen, right? What was the previous role? Oh, playing a Fed head. Yeah. So it's the same club. So now the lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices go, because gold is dollar based. Now it's cheaper for other countries in them to buy gold. And you're seeing the numbers coming out. They're buying it like crazy. Number two is that it's going to be the death of the dollar. Much of the world has had enough of the United States geopolitical and economic hegemony. They're tired of it. And it's not going to happen right away, but it's happening. Let's go back to the dollar. The dollar has had its worst year this year, since the start of the year, since 1973. What happened in 1973? Oh, they took us off the gold standard. Oh, what else happened? Oh, the Yom Kippur War, where the Arabs cut off the oil supply and the price of barrel of Brent crude quadrupled. That 1973? Yeah, that's how the dollar's going down. Again, the lower the dollar goes, the higher gold prices go. And Trump, I'm pro-tariff, because once upon a time, before the slime ball, he gave us NAFTA. Get them jobs out of America. You don't want manufacturing jobs. Go bring them to Mexico. You get cheap labor, right? This is the Bill Clinton that brought China into the World Trade Organization. Go back to 2000. They get in officially 2 weeks after 9/11. 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college. Today, 70%. Why is this important? There's going to be a dot-com bust. China's going to lead the world in AI. Going back to Bill Clinton, $120 million bucks. You could hear this guy BS for free. He gets $300,000 plus an hour when he bullshits like to Goldman Sachs gang. These are payoffs. Yeah. This is the guy that did away, as I said, why I went into this, thanking you for what you're doing. Journalism is dead. This is the little arrogant piece of scum crap that killed the Madeleine, not all that bright, Madeleine Albright on 60 Minutes. Is the price of 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 worth the price? Yes, it is, she said. That's Bill Clinton bombing Baghdad, putting sanctions on it. Every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad. Again, thanking you for what you're doing, and journalism is dead. This is the little slime ball that gave us the Federal Communications Act in 1996. There were thousands of independent radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, on and on. Nope, no more. 6 companies control 92% of America's media. So you ask me what people should do. They need to get in the best shape they can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I've been at this for 45 years. Never, ever, ever have I been so concerned about the future as we are right now. And to me, we don't give financial advice. Gold, again, go back to the Trends Journal, 2024, golden year for gold. Gold went up, 30%. This year it's gone up again. We've been bullish on gold and silver and Bitcoin. Am I a Bitcoin fan? No, but I've been positive on it for nearly a decade. And now Trump got into office. We said this thing's going to fly up. This is the Trump, by the way, that came out and said came out and said what? That Bitcoin was a fake. It was no good. It was a bunch of junk, right?
Now he's done a 180.
Yep, because the whole family's in it.
As Trump edges closer to imposing his next round of tariffs, the toll of American protectionism is becoming harder to ignore, even if financial markets seem oddly numb to it. The broader damage to global trade is real. While Wall Street hasn't panicked yet, analysts warn that it could change quickly. One told CNN that if effective tariff rates on major trading partners climb beyond 20%, it could rattle markets enough to trigger a downturn. Gerald Celente brings the focus home, pointing out that falling Treasury yields are just as critical. Right now, mortgage rates are stuck around 6.7 to 6.8%, and that's suffocating the housing market. Trump's well aware. If he returns to the White House, Celente believes he'll push hard to revive the economy by any means necessary, especially with an election on the line. Lower rates and looser financial conditions are likely tools. Meanwhile, there's some optimism baked into second quarter growth projections, but economists are skeptical. The rebound is driven mainly by import rebalancing. Companies front-loaded purchases earlier in the year to avoid tariff hikes, which negatively impacted the first quarter GDP. Now that they're working through those stockpiles, things may look better on paper than they are in reality. Such an artificial boost can mask more profound weaknesses in demand and investment. This suggests that, despite the headline numbers, the economy remains vulnerable to policy swings, trade disruptions, and interest rate pressures. And if tariffs continue to rise or rates remain high, that vulnerability could escalate into something more serious. Let's get back to the interview.
Again, the last time he did it, the Dow went up 22% in 2019. And then you get more M&A, merger and acquisition activity. The bigs buy up more because they got cheap money. And they got to build up, they got to bring down the Treasury yield. That's the big one, because you're looking at mortgage rates is still about 6.8, 6.7. And there's a real slowdown in the housing market, and they need to boost that up. Trump is only interested in bringing up the economy. He's going to do everything to do it. And but again, there are the wild cards. I've been at this for 45 years. I don't know if people know this, but some of my books, trend tracking, far better than Megatrends Time magazine. Trends 2000, international bestseller. I've been at this a lot of years. Never before, every year we do top trends. One of the top trends this year was a wild card. Never did that before.
That was a Trump wild card, right?
The Trump card and the wild card. You got to look at the Middle East war. Remember, this is Trump, by the way. Hey, You elect me, I'm going to end that Ukraine war in 24 hours, all right? Hey, now that I'm elected, once I get into office, before I get into office, I'm going to end that war, all right? Now, how about you're full of crap? This is the guy that bombed Iran. This is the guy that said we're going to annihilate the Houthis. Ready? This is also the guy that said, I want to see the Middle East get back to peace and real peace, but a peace that is going to be a lasting peace. I want immediate peace. That's when he's running for office. I want immediate peace with the Ukraine war. We want to have peace on earth all over. Here, if I were president, I would have that Ukraine war settled in one day, 24 hours. That's the BS crap that he said when he's running for president. I had lunch with his brother, Robert, back in 2017. He had a restaurant over here in Wasaic, which is across the river from me in Kingston. The brother went on to say that when the father died, he left the family over $500 million worth of real estate. Trump is nothing more than a spoiled daddy's boy. I'm the same age. The biggest threat my parents used to give me, you little SOB, we had enough of your crap, you're going to military school. I'll be good. I'm going to go to military school, get dressed up in a costume. Time to get up, time to go to bed. Do this, do that. I'm not going to do that, you know. Trump was so arrogant, they sent him to military school. Not far from here, where I am in Kingston, down in Cornwall, New York, in the middle of nowhere. Imagine being a teenager when you want, to meet chicks, cars, sports, my mother, may she rest in peace, a great Italian woman, that everybody used to love to come to Aunt Marie. She was the best cook anywhere. I'm going to eat this crap at a military school. Trump was so narcissistic that they sent him to military school. And he's still narcissistic. He's only concerned about himself. Go back to Germany. Again, they're all doing it. France and the UK just made a deal that if Russia attacks either one of them, they unite and go to war against Russia. They're all spending this money to build up their military. And this is the BS that they're pushing out there. That's going to build up their economy. No, it's not. Economies are built up when the products that are manufactured in a country are bought by the people. The products that are being manufactured, the bombs, the tanks, the planes, the ship, they're not being, people aren't buying them. That's only enriching the military-industrial complex, which Dwight D. Eisenhower, five-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces in World War II, and two-term president, said that the military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. So they're not building up the military. Number two, that we write in the Trends Journal, what are you wasting your money for building this stuff? You go to war against Russia, it's going to be nuclear annihilation. Again, I told you one of my books, Trends 2000, international bestseller, they brought me to Virginia Military Institute back in 2000 to talk about new millennium warfare. Now, remember, this is before drones and all of that. It was, it was 25 years ago, I said there's going to be new millennium warfare. The armaments that are being made today are going to be useless in the next war. And you're seeing it with all the drones and on and on and on. So they're wasting this money. If they go to war against Russia, Russia is the most advanced military technology in the world. Their hypersonic missiles, on and on and on, and their nuclear weapons. It'll be the end of life on Earth. But let's be stupid. I'm going to build a bunker, all right? I'm going to build a bunker. So if a nuclear bomb goes off, I'm in the bunker. Oh, life will be wonderful after that. Well, how stupid can you be? I'm telling you, it's a waste of money and it'll accomplish nothing.
Policy inertia at the Fed, rising geopolitical frictions, and the quiet but steady exit from dollar dependence are all part of the same puzzle. Major players aren't waiting for headlines. They're rebalancing portfolios, stockpiling tangible assets, and bracing for a different kind of financial order. The currency that once anchored global markets is now showing signs of fatigue, and the response isn't panic. It's preparation. Gold isn't surging because of hype. It's rising because trust is eroding, quietly but unmistakably. If confidence is the real currency of this system, how much is left? And what replaces it when it runs out? Share your perspective in the comments section. If the video resonates with you, join our community by subscribing to our channel and enabling notifications with the bell icon. Thank you for being a part of our community.